Hey, it's KB, and I love movies. Shout out to Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. He issued A to Z movie challenge. Basically, the premise is you have a chance to bring one movie per letter to a friend's house. Which will you choose? You also get five cheats, and I'm gonna try to avoid not picking the ones that Huck picked, so that might eliminate some of my favorites, but these are the ones I would pick if I had to do it. Stick around. Okay, so he said that you could start with a number, so I can't think of a better number title than 2001 A Space Odyssey. This is an excellent 4K, great sound, excellent transfer on the picture, so this is the best one that I could come up with. For A, I was going to go with, of course, the Alfred Hitchcock title somewhere in there, maybe Psycho or whatever. But if I'm going to use these cheats, as much as I love Hitch, I got to go with the Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection. I want to go from Psycho to The Birds to Shadow of a Doubt, and they're all on here. So cheat number one is Alfred Hitchcock Masterpiece Collection. For B, of course, I was going to go with Back to the Future, but Huck already picked that one. So I think a good replacement would be Blade Runner 2049. Talking about excellent transfers and great sound, this is a great sounding movie here. This 4K, especially if you have height speakers, more than two, you could hear the difference in the scene where it's raining between the rain on the balcony versus the rain hitting the awning. It's little minute details like that that make this an excellent disc. You're going to want to laugh at some point, and who's better than Eddie? So Eddie Murphy, and what's better than his best film, Coming to America? This is also a great transfer and a great time. This is definitely his best movie. And I love Eddie, and I love all the characters that him and Arsenio Hall plays. It's great. Couldn't decide what I wanted to do for D, but I ended up going with Donnie Darko. I love this movie, and I figure out something different each time I watch it, and I've been watching it for years, so there's a lot in here to figure out. And since this is a limited edition, I'm going to bring the whole thing, so there's a lot to read too. For E, I couldn't decide between like E.T. and everything like that. But until my 4K comes in, I decided to go with Ex Machina. Great modern day science fiction movie, and I have to imagine 4K is going to look great because this Blu-ray looks great too. Put that back. F, F, F. F is for, talking about comedies, one of my favorites. We're going to go with Ferris Bueller. Gotta love Ferris Bueller, know all the words, definitely a great laugh. And yes, I am putting these back as I go along because who likes to do that after they do a video? Those that know me know that my favorite film, the movie that helped me fall in love with movies is Goodfellas. But I'm going to use cheat number two and go with The Godfather. Why get one great mob film when you could have three? Two. Two great mob films. We won't talk about number three. For H, couldn't decide what I wanted to do here, but since I haven't watched it yet, I think I would bring along Heat on 4K just so I could check it out. hopefully whoever I'm going to has a great setup with a great OLED so those blacks could look nice and inky and I could see what's going on the screen. I. He threw me off with I because he picked Indiana Jones. So I couldn't decide what I wanted to do besides Indiana Jones, but push come to shove, you need some Tarantino in your life, and I love this movie. And this transfer looks great, and I probably won't upgrade to the 4K because I heard it doesn't look that good. So I would go with Inglourious Bastards. For J, here comes my next cheat. Um, I don't watch these movies one by one, so I would bring all the John Wicks. And depending on when I go, maybe 4 will be out, include John Wick 4 in there as well. But I watch all of these together currently as a trilogy, so I would bring the John Wick movies. For K, Knives Out. Easy. For L, I need a hood classic in there. And one of my favorite hood classics is The Last Dragon. Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon, but we'll put it under L for Last Dragon, just for show enough. When it comes to M, I was thinking Mission Impossible, all that stuff, but I'm going to use another cheat here. I'm using all my cheats up front, and I'm going to go with The Matrix. And the reason I say I'm going to use the cheat is because after I grabbed it, I said, you know what? Let's just take them all. Yeah, I know none of them compare to the first one, but I have a cheat to use, so I'm going to use it on The Matrix quadrilogy as it is now. I hate that, but it is what it is. N, N, N. Here's another cheat. I hope somebody's counting because I plan to use all 5. And N was going to be Nightmare on Elm Street. But since I have a cheat to use, Nightmare on Elm Street collection. Gotta have some Freddy in your life. I'm bringing them all. 4O. Need to break into the criterions for O. And I would bring along On the Waterfront. Great movie. Marlon Brando's performance is excellent. Eva Von Saint, Carl Malden. Love this movie. I would definitely bring that along. For P, those of you that know me know that I love Prince, and one of my favorite concert films of all time is Prince, Sign of the Times. For the longest time, this was unavailable in the States. This is actually from Canada. So I still watch this to today, even though it's on DVD. It sounds great. It's in Dolby Surround 5.1, and I definitely need some music, so who better than the Prince? Let's see. This is where I have to go the same as Huck for Q. No better Q movie than A Quiet Place. For R, I was going to pick Raiders, but I need some action. So I would bring RoboCop along with me for sure. For S, had a lot of choices here, as you can imagine. All the Star Wars movies, Star Trek, and in the end I decided to go with a musical. My favorite musical, Singing in the Rain. Gotta have that. For T. For T, I was thinking Train to Busan or anything like that. But once again, I gotta follow Huck and bring along Terminator 2. And I would bring along the Blu-ray because not the 4K. And this one has the special edition and a theatrical cut, so I have choices. And choices are good. Let's see, for you, there's a lot of choices. Could do Us, could do Unbreakable, but I'm also a sports fan, and I want to have some kind of sports with me. I don't know how long I'm going to be there. And one of my favorite all-time sports DVDs is this one called Ultimate Jordan. And it basically covers Michael Jordan and a lot of bonus features on there as well. So I definitely have this. If not this, I would find a way to put The Last Dance somewhere in there. So I would include that. Next we have V. And when it comes to V, V is for Vendetta. Easy. For W, I was trying to decide Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, What Happened to Baby Jane, but one that I probably would like to upgrade soon, I would go with Whiplash. Love that movie, and I watch it quite often. And it sounds great too. For X, he picked X-Men 2, which is a great movie. I would say one step below that is X-Men First Class. I really enjoyed this movie. That is not a loose disc, I promise you. But yeah, I would bring X-Men. Because I want more Criterion in there, I'm looking, and for the letter Y, I need a long film. Sometimes you just want to sit there and just get engrossed in a long film. And this is not only a long one, but this is also a good one. So I would pick EE. And then finally for Z, because I want to think about it, I would pick Zero Dark 30. Really good thriller film. And Jessica Chastain's performance is excellent. So that's it. That's my picks if I had to do the A through Z challenge. Shout out again to Huck at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe for issuing this challenge. What would you pick? Leave your comments or do your own video. Looking forward to seeing it.